Hi you guys, so today we are talking about a servitor. Actually I think the prompt is, hang on. The prompt is create a servitor. In my opinion, a servitor cannot be created in a day. You may be able to create a puppet, a body for the servitor, maybe in a day. If you're adding herbs, no, you'd have to add the herbs every day, sink that energy in there every day. I personally do not think and have never heard of a servitor being made in one day. That being said, I do have a servitor. It took me 8 days, well, let's see, 8 days to birth it, and 3 days before to do all the cleansing rituals I needed to do to start making the servitor and to start bonding with it. And he was birthed on the 8th night under a full moon. Okay, so this is my servitor. You notice it is made of sage, so it's not a puppet I can stuff with herbs, which if I had made it into a puppet, I would have done, okay? So this is his front. This is the compact between he and I. You can see it sealed with the first initial of my last name, okay? He has his own little altar, his own little box down here. And when he goes upstairs, he'll still have his own little box, his own little area, but he will be on my main altar. Okay? I am burning a black candle. My servitor is a protective servitor. Okay? He feeds off fire energy. It's one of the things he feeds off of. So he has his own black candle. It's almost burnt out. And of course I have others over here to replace it. But he has his own black candle. Make sure I'm not showing that on camera. Okay. He has his, this is what probably you would stuff the servitor with if you're making a puppet to stuff. I did this bag, which will never be opened again, okay? His sigil is on the back of the bag. He has a sigil on him. And these are the herbs and stones that make up his personality or match his personality and his purpose. Okay. Also, I have with him a desert rose that is supposed to have its own guardian with it. And I keep this in his little altar. I also feed my servitor with blood about once a month, and it's just like a little bit, it's a little bit of a sacrifice, you understand. Just like a drop or two. Also, he has his own wine that I made. Before I started making the servitor, I made sure I had the herbs that he needed to have for his protection herbs, his own feed of protection herbs. Because you have to feed a servitor. You have to feed a topa. You have to feed anything that is an energy form. You have to feed it with energy, okay? Even your own energy. So I also have a wine, which is his own wine. So what I'm going to do is tilt the camera down and show you what his box or his altar, this is his own little altar, looks like. Okay, also there is a protective pentagram in the bottom of this box on the inside, which you will not be able to see. It's done in marker, traced over with blood, and it's for his protection, and for my protection, of course. I have also been giving him a drop of the witch's shield whenever I shield myself. So he is included within my shield. This was from the witch's moon, but you will see this is a protective sigil, and he sits on this. Okay, his whole box sits on it. So, let me get his wine. You can reach it. Kelsey! Come here. Someone has moved my servitor's wine, which I don't appreciate very much. Ah, here it is. Yay, I found it. It was not where I had put it last, so sometimes things get moved around in the house. Sometimes it's my daughter, or my husband, or my son, and sometimes it's not. I never know which is which, but that's okay. So I'm going to tilt this down. You can see his little altar box, okay? This is where I give him his herbs or his wine. His wine also has his herbs in it. And this is a beautiful wine, by the way. Also, and it's stronger now because the herbs have fermented into the wine. Okay, so this is my servitor. Here's his bag, his candle, his offering bowl, and the desert rose. Okay, so this is what I have for my servitor. This is the way he is set up. I would not suggest creating a servitor in one day unless you want to create a servitor and dissipate its life in one day, okay? If you have a specific task that it needs to go do and then dissipate it, go for it. But this servitor, I intend to pass down through the generations. So there is this. And he will stay in that box even when my back's fixed. I maybe will go upstairs and put him on my main altar. So that is my take on create a servitor. I do not think it can be done in a day. I'd be more of a topa than a servitor if you're creating it in a day, I think. I don't know. I just don't, I can't wrap my head around trying to create one in one day without any cleansings, without a circle or putting energy into him every day so he grows. So I have created a Servitor. I'm also doing a Servitor series, you guys. I'm doing it 2 o'clock on Saturdays. Yes, Saturdays. So I'll be doing one at 2 o'clock today. Try to catch my series because it explains more fully what a Servitor is, how you can use a Servitor, how they are, how that energy is formed and given and put into the Servitor as much as possible throughout the days until the 8th night. And the 8th night should be done on a full moon. Okay, let me say this. This is my opinion on how to create a Servitor, okay? I know different people have different opinions. They do it different ways. They do it in different amount of times. There's not a lot of information out there. This is the way I created my Servitor. It works for me, and I am willing to share that information with you guys. Some people have created Servitors, but they're not really sharing the information. And I think if they want to share how they did it, that's awesome. You guys do a VR to this and let everybody know. Put the information out there so people know how to, they have a choice. They're not just hearing it from me, they're hearing it from many people about how they created their Servitors. Because there's really not a lot of information. So, I am not the end-all, do-all. I do not know everything. I've created one Servitor in my life, one. And I am just telling you what works for me in my series and in this video. But by all means, do your research. If other people are making videos about how to create a Servitor, watch their videos. And I think everyone that has made a Servitor should do a video. But it is also a very personal experience. The way I've created my series is not based personally on my experience because, I mean, it is based on my experience, but the details that are personal are not being given. And it's easy to do that, to separate. But anyway, I wanted to kind of put my 2 cents in here. And I love you guys. I appreciate you watching. And I will see you at 2.